Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic. Super duper. All right.
Slow moving.
What?
Inattentive.
What?
Dull.
What?
Shows a lack of motivation.
What?
Constantly snacking.
This is funny because he's fat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
On the deaf kid.
Who the fuck was that?
All right.
McGregor from the right side, centering feed. And oh my God! Yes! And Holy Cross has knocked off the Minnesota Golden Gophers!
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I wish I could wet my pants.
Sound like a good strong lady and a tasty BLT.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Yes, I do! I have lost my voice in excitement!
An F in English? Bobby, you speak English.
Amanda Hug and Kiss? Hey, I'm looking for Amanda Hug and Kiss. Why can't I find Amanda Hug and Kiss?
Maybe your standards are too high.
Eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
I have hot snakes, you guys.
What's hot snakes?
It's when the diarrhea comes out like a hot snake.
Andy!
I get hot snakes and bubble gut.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, doesn't matter where you are. This is the North Star Sports Podcast, where we continue to be the semi-pro of sports talk. And I mean by semi-pro, I mean we are not that good. I mean, we're okay. I'm at Geffre. Alongside me today is nobody. Flying solo today. Both Vince and Justin are out. They're being adults, doing busy things. I'm not, obviously. I'm actually doing this show by myself, lonely, and all by myself, scared, crying at night, wishing I had a co-host who could be with me all the time. But it is what it is. You have Justin, who lives way out by north of St. Cloud, and you have Justin, who lives way in Woodbury, as we're coming to you from, where the hell are we at? St. Michael. That's where I live. I forgot something. But it's a brand new day, a brand new show, and hopefully we do something nice, do something good. We do actually have a somewhat of a packed show, I guess, for being being by myself. So I'm probably going to go through the show pretty damn quick because it's Friday, September the 13th. I know, September the 13th. Are you guys scared? The moon, it's supposed to be a full moon too, so I have a superstition about full moons and September 13th. I believe that kids are berserk or like batshit crazy when it's full moons. And we have all of our kids tonight. And I'm not looking forward to that because it's going to be out of control. They're going to be pissy or whiny like normal, like any other kid. They're twins are 7, Kennedy is 3, and I don't have Aiden. Obviously, Aiden is in New York and he's having a good time, but still, it's going to be nuts in the house, and we have a whole bunch of people coming over the weekend to do Packer Viking football. So I'm looking forward to that as well. We'll get into that as well too in a little bit. But here's kind of a quick rundown of what we're going to do today. We'll talk about Antonio Brown. I'll be pretty brief about it. Don't worry about that. You can see a porn name on a stadium soon. We'll talk about that. And AK47s and hockey. The Gophers are 2-0 and they take on Georgia Southern. We'll talk about that as well. Then we'll talk about, is it the end for the Twins? Is it the end upon us for the Twins this year? Saints baseball just still keep rolling along. They're looking for one more win to clinch that championship. It's been 15 years. Then we also say goodbye to Eddie Money, one of the greatest. I think he's one of the greatest artists of the we'll go 80s. 80s. I was trying to think it was mid-80s, but we'll just say 80s in general. And then, of course, we'll break down the Vikings and Packers as well, too. I was waiting for Justin and Vince to send me their underdog and they have not sent me their underdog, so we'll probably end up going to skip it. But last week, we'll just get into that. Last week, Dan Moto from the Saints, he picked the UCLA to win, and he did. So he gets 10 points. The underdog is basically what we're doing is we find teams all across the nation. It could be football, baseball, basketball. It doesn't matter. And it has to be underdog. It has to be there has to be 5+, 10+, whatever. Just something. I'm going to see a huge underdog and win. And we had 2 underdogs that won. UCLA won, and that was Dan's team. And Justin had, it was the Titans beating the Browns. If you remember the audio from last week, he had him winning, and congratulations. So he gets 10 points. So Dan and Justin both get 10 points. Vince and I both sit at 0. We only go by 10 points because my easy South Dakota math. That's how it works out. It just works better. All right, so moving on. Let's talk about Antonio Brown. I mean, what a goddamn head case this is. What a shit show this is. It goes from the feet issue, or his feet are too cold, or some stupid bullshit. And then he goes from the helmet issue. He doesn't like the right helmet, whatever. And then ends up getting, in a way, partly genius on his part for having a YouTube person edit his stuff and then promote it. It's part genius or really stupid, one of the two. But he gets obviously cut by the Raiders. Patriots literally signed him within 10 minutes, 15 minutes after he got released. And then we find out last Sunday night, that he's being charged with federal accounts for allegedly raped a former trainer of his. So that I don't have a very strong opinion on, because we need to let due process do its due process, and we'll see what happens from there, because I can't give an opinion until after everything is settled and the due process has done its part. So I can't give anything like that. But speaking of jail, R. Kelly skipped his court date here in Minnesota because of his he had a 17-year-old girl that he had take off her shirt for like $200 or whatever, which he can't do that. It's under 18. And so he's facing charges from there. Skipped it, so he has a bench warrant, but I guess he's already in jail already, so I don't know how that works out in the legal way, but I guess we'll find out more eventually when that happens. So back to Antonio Brown. I mean, I almost traded for him. I mean, before all this shit happened, I was on the verge of trading for him, but I didn't. I'm happy I didn't, obviously, because he's not. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know if he's actually playing or not this weekend. I haven't seen anything if he is going to play. But the NFL does have to say, I mean, he could be on the exempt list where he can't play at all. I mean, there's a possibility of that, and we'll see if that happens. So that's just a quick take on that. Let's get the porn name on the stadium. I think is hilarious. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Bang Bros. If you watch porn or whatever, Bang Bros could be renamed Miami Heat Arena in Miami, which I think is goddamn hilarious. They put in the submission to become the new building sponsor, and if that happens, it's going to be Back to the Future 2 and everywhere. Stuff like that, you don't see that happening except for movies like Back to the Future 2, where it was an alternate future, and that's what I feel like that the world is eventually coming to, anyways. Especially this society, where Biff's gonna run the country and stuff, and win all this money. That's what I eventually feel like what's gonna happen. But Bang Bros hit the Twitter and detailed and submit the $10 billion bid to rename the arena to Bang Bros Center. Jesus Christ. Otherwise known, the abbreviation is BBC. That's still funny. The bid is real and is very unlikely to be accepted, but again, it's 2019, about to be 2020, and anything stranger thing can happen. Like I said, it'll be like Back to the Future 2. Again, the alternate reality, or alternate future. That's what I feel like what's going to happen. Oh, sorry, it is 10 million, not 10 billion. I learned how to read, retard. Yeah, so Bang Bros offered $10 million just to rename the stadium. I think it'd be hilarious. I mean, it's sad in society, but I think it would be hilarious. So, all right, so let's move on. AK-47s and hockey. The Russian hockey team started giving AK-47s to player of the game. This has been floating around for a little bit, for a few days. Most hockey teams have a totem. I don't know how you say that word, but we'll just move on. But the Russian club, which plays in a second tier VHL, unveiled a new post-game award this week after defeating Clement. I don't know what that is, but again, it's a second tier VHL. I don't know what the fuck a VHL is. But they're giving out AK-47s for player of the game. Now, Russia got to do something. They have all this stuff supposedly stored somewhere, so it makes sense. They're trying to get rid of it. I wonder if it actually works. Can we see if it actually works? That'll be badass. What kind of crisis do you think that would bring to America if they were giving out weapons to players of the game? Just think of that crazy shit. Again, Back to the Future 2. That's what feels like what's going to happen. I just don't understand how this world's going to go. It's just crazy to me. I guess, if you want to really talk some real sports and really quickly, if I haven't bored you enough, I know I do that pretty well. That's why I'm not on radio anymore, because I'm pretty good at that. But I guess we could talk some Gophers.
It's time now for them there boys to talk about the Minnesota Gophers.
Well, the Minnesota Gophers are facing Georgia Southern this weekend, or tomorrow, I guess, Saturday. I don't know. What is the over? I'm trying to find the.
It's time for these boys to have
not what I wanted. See what happens when you don't pay attention and no one else is here to help you? I'm trying to find the numbers for it. And, of course, nothing's going to bring up that I want to fucking bring up. There it is. Gophers are favored by 16.5 points. Again, Georgia Southern is... Some people say that they're like South Dakota State. I mean, if you're listening to, like, K-Fan this whole week, they said they're like a smaller version of South Dakota State, which I don't believe that, because South Dakota State is a hell of a team and one of the best teams in the FCS. Now, that's probably just me being biased because I grew up in South Dakota and I'm a fan of South Dakota State as well too. I just think that it's fucking, I don't know why loop them into this type of thing. Georgia Southern is not going to be a good team. They're going to get their ass kicked. The over-under is 45. Gophers are favored again by 16.5. So if you want to play the whole underdog role, you can pick Georgia Southern to beat Gophers if you want to. That's 16.5 points. I don't know what the Vegas has on it, but I assume it's pretty big. But I'm not too worried about it. Gophers do have, really good passing, pretty good passing yards. Georgia Southern runs like a triple option, kind of like I saw what Georgia Tech do in the bowl game last year. So I don't really have a problem with it. We'll see how it goes. Georgia Southern averages 14.5 points a game, and they only play 2 games. But they have given up a lot of passing yards, and I just think that it's not going to be a good time for Georgia Southern. But if you want to pick one of those underdogs, that'd be a good one to pick for you. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't really pick any of them. And I was trying to get myself situated for the next break. But again, this is what happens when you're by yourself and you're really pretty much unprepared for pretty much anything else. So There we go. My headphones are not working either. So, yeah. All right, when we come back, what else do we have? We do have a lot more stuff, though. We're going to have my damn documents went. We do have some Twins to talk about. Saints baseball. We'll talk about some Eddie Money as well, too. The Vikings and Packers as well, too. We'll talk about that. You're listening to North Star Sports Podcast with me, Matt Geffre, all by myself. Lonely today. Be back in a bit.
Paper man cut into shreds by his own pair of scissors. He'll never forgive her.
You're a freak with a microphone.
Ranked the 4,155th best podcast in America. This is the North Star Sports Podcast.
In the game of checkers in life, sometimes you make the wrong move and get jumped. If you made the wrong move and need money fast, we're here to capitalize on that. Some people are destined to make the wrong move over and over again. It's okay. It's all right. What are possessions in life's treasures if you can't cash them in during a self-imposed crisis? At Abigo Brokerage and Pawn, we'll secure the funds you need for any collateral items you can get your hands on. Just bring in your stock, jewelry, electronics, munitions, dust, automobiles, power tools, home, movies, children, exercise equipment, pets, coin collection, or your spleen, liver, or kidney, we'll give you cash on the spot. After all, some habits are expensive. We don't need proof of ownership. We're about the most basic exchange. Goods for money. We'll buy anything, including your dignity. Abigo Brokerage and Pawn.
Hi, this is Dan Model, center fielder for the St. Paul Saints, and you're listening to North Star Sports Podcast.
Oh, hey there. Have you ever been to the website called Pick and Shovelware? It's a pretty cool website, Susie. You can buy all the pretty cool Minnesota sports apparel. Oh, and hey, you can get 20% off when you use that there promo code Northstar as well. Yeah, it's the pickandshovelware.com. Oh, wow, Randy Moss and the North Stars on it.
From memes to actual sports topics, find us on Facebook, North Star Sports Podcast.
Welcome back to North Star Sports Podcast, where we continue to be the semi-pro of sports talk. I'm having like super issue with my headset. Like it's in and out, so I'm like, it feels like I'm not hearing myself, and it sucks. But yeah, it's been shitty with my headphones. Goddamn great song though, banger song. Now I gotta log back into my. It sucks with this. With this, like, it's everything's on. All my notes and stuff are on one phone. Music's on one phone. Sports stuff and the liners and everything else is on a different thing. So that part sucks. I'm switching from one thing to the other, and that drives me nuts. But we do have some Minnesota Twins to talk about, so let's talk about that.
Oh, prepare yourselves. The boys are going to talk about the Twinkies.
We're gonna win, Twins. We're gonna score. We're gonna win, Twins. Watch that baseball soar. Knock out a home run. Shout out.
Not a good, I guess, series against the Nationals. It was, to me, it was an ass kicking. I'm not gonna lie. Dozier came back, and I was super. I was happy that he came back. He was pretty cool about it. Everybody loved it. Everybody gave a stand-up ovation, which is pretty sweet. But I didn't watch any of the game, any of them, anything against the Nationals. I don't know why. I just did not really care for it. Maybe because I thought we were going to get our ass kicked, which we did. Oh, we did bad. Last night against the Nationals, they beat the shit out of us, 12-6. As the AL Central tightens up, we are now 3 games, I bet, 3 games ahead of Indians, and they come in tonight too. Or no, we are in Cleveland tonight, I think, aren't we? Yeah. We are in Cleveland, and first pitch is at 6:10 or 6:10 tonight. It's gonna get 3.5. That's what it is, 3.5. And I don't know. I have a feeling that the Twins are not gonna win the division. I just have this weird feeling Twins are gonna make the division. You have too many players that are hurt. Here, I'll back up. John Scope did hit his 22nd home run last night. Gibson did okay last night. A few strikeouts, and I thought he pitched. I mean, okay, I guess he just struggled. I mean, everything else just struggled. Let's see. I'm trying to think who's out. Cave has been slowly trying to make his way. He's been hurting. Kepler is taking cuts in the cage. Sano's taking cuts in the cage. Polanco had a sit last night because of an emergency tooth pull. Cruz hit a home run last night too, I believe. This whole fucking thing is going down the shitter pretty damn quick. After the Pineda thing, it just does not look good for your Minnesota Twins. I mean, that's maybe me being negative, but that's just also the truth as well too. I mean, right now they're pushing for playoff tickets, but we're not going to be in the damn playoffs if we can't put some damn wins together. We don't have much of a pitching staff. We never really had much of a pitching staff. Just hope and a prayer every time, and we somehow came out on top. Indians are also struggling as well too. They have tons of injuries as well. It's just not looking good for the Twins, though. I mean, as some of you know, I put a bet out there at my old station in Bemidji. I put a beard bet, if the Twins win the division, I will trim my beard and have a mustache. I mean, it's going to be a sexy mustache, be a Tom Selleck type mustache, or a Ron Burgundy or Ron Swanson type mustache. I don't know yet, one of the two. But if the Twins win a series in the playoffs, I will shave it and I will become babyface and smooth. But I don't really want to do that. So hopefully that does not happen. Hopefully. So yeah. So I just think the Twins are not gonna make the playoffs or not gonna win the division. I mean, right now I think they have a couple game ahead of the wild card. I think it's like 3 or 4 games of the wild card of the Rays, I think. So just one of those things, man. Just one of the things. I don't know what the hell it is about Minnesota teams, but we have such a damn problem of 1, healthy, 2, we always blow it like in the fourth quarter or overtime. No matter what team it is, except for the Lynx, when they have their years. But lately, it just the past 10, 15, 20 years, for any male sport, it has been bad. Heartbreaking bad. And that sucks someone who, a lot of people know, I grew up as a Cowboys fan. I love the Vikings as well. I just don't root for them in the playoffs. And I root for the underdogs like the Lions. And holy shit, that was a bad game last week, too, against the Cardinals. Typical Lions, always making that happen. I don't understand that. Well, the Lions Lions could be the best team in the world. I mean, if you love emotional roller coaster rides, best team. They beat the hell out of the Cardinals and then end up losing it in overtime. Really, it's Matthew Stafford throwing it out of bounds really pissed me off too. I didn't think it was going to do that. And then, I root for the underdog, but some days I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? So yeah. All right, let's move on to Saints baseball. The St. Paul Saints are 1 win away against Wichita, and who the hell is it? Whatever team. They are beating the hell. I'm playing tug of war with my dog too. She's squeaking her toy, and it's driving me nuts. They're 1 win away, and they play on Saturday. So if you want to go, I would say go. It's gonna be. I think it's supposed to be a decent day out, and I think it's mid-afternoon. I gotta look again, but it's gonna be a fun time. If I can't go, but you should go. I know Vince wanted to go and Justin wanted to go, but they're all busy. but it's a good opportunity for you to go see. It's been 15 years since the Saints won a championship, and I think you should go see the St. Paul Saints. Great field, great place, great food, and good beer too. So go out there, go see the St. Paul Saints on Saturday. They need one more win to win the cup, or win the championship. So let's hopefully they make it. And 15 years, man, it's been a long time for that. Long time. What else do we want to talk about? Well, let's see. Matt, you're by yourself, so you're pretty much talking to yourself, aren't you? Yep, I am. We should do some. Let's do this. Eddie Money. Let's say our bye to Eddie Money. I mean, good song here. 2 Tickets to Paradise, Eddie Money. Eddie Money passed away at the age of, what was it, 70, 72, I believe. Had battled with cancer for a long time, and finally got the best of him. And legendary Eddie Money. I'm trying to scroll to the damn. There he is. Died at the age of 70. Was battling cancer for a long time. Trying to get more about when he was diagnosed. I thought it was pretty recently he was diagnosed. Oh man, he has stage 4 esophagus cancer, so it's just a good song. I'll just let the song play out until it's going. And of course, nothing wants to pull up at all. Man, he dominated the 80s. Late 70s, he dominated as well, too. Had pretty good, damn good hair, too. But, yeah, he smoked a lot, too. I mean, that happens. Pack your bags, we'll leave tonight. Just banger. All right, well, let's take a break. But when we come back, we have Packers and Vikings. We'll do a quick border battle when we come back. So you listen to North Star Sports Podcast right here on whatever you may be listening to. It could be iHeart, could be iTunes, Spotify, really anything. Also, thank you to pickandshovelware.com. Get 20% off right now when you use that promo code North Star. 20% off right now when you use the North Star promo code.
Dude, are you 5?
Yeah, 5 inches deep in your bum.
Hang on for just a second. The North Star Sports Podcast will be back.
But we do have our big time entertainment in small towns. We practically invented NASCAR, right? Yeah. And I do like NASCAR. I think it gets a bad rap from other comedians, man. If you ever watch another comedian talking about NASCAR, they're always dogging it. They'll say stupid jokes, too, like this. They'll say, NASCAR? What does that mean? You have a nice car? It's not what it means. I'll tell you what it means. This is not even a joke. This is actually what NASCAR stands for. National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing. That's right. Did you hear that? Stock Car Auto Racing. Car, automobile, racing. It says car twice. That's how much they love cars. But that's like saying, yeah, I play for the NFFFL. Mm-hmm. You know, the National Football League. But people don't get it, man. They think it's like just cars going in a circle and that's it. But there's a lot more to it than that, right? There's like 43 of them going 200 miles an hour with 1 inch between them and death. Hey, if you mess up in other sports, you're not going to die, you know? It'd be like, Tiger Woods, he's going for par here. It's, Tiger hits the ball. Ooh, he missed it. And he's on fire! He just burst into flames out of nowhere. Oh, he got hit by another Gopher. Drop and roll, Tiger. There's a little bit more at stake in NASCAR. It's called your life. That's why when guys lose, they're not that bummed out, really. They go, yeah, I lost today, but my head did not explode. I feel good about that. I still have all my limbs. That's good. I mean, what good is a green jacket if you ain't got no arms? That's what I'm saying.
This is Ryan Burns from Gopher Illustrated, and you're listening to the North Star Sports Podcast.
Oh, jeepers, why don't you like the North Star Sports Podcast on Facebook today? It's better than Dante Culpepper throwing a touchdown pass to Randy Moss there, eh?
Do you remember when the Twins were good for that 1 year?
While Wade Boggs lay unconscious on the barroom tile.
Wondered when that'll happen again. It's the North Star Sports Podcast.
Welcome back to North Star Sports Podcast. We're going to be the semi-pro of sports talk. Here's Chicago for you. Saturday in the Park. Going back into the 70s vault. Enjoy. Listen. A North Star Sports Podcast. And that's how you hit a post, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that hard. Was the 4th of July. All right. We'll turn that down. Good song. I mean, I think Chicago is a pretty good band. I mean, they're not something I'm always going to listen to, but I think they're a pretty decent band. I mean, they did make the Hall of Fame.
It's time for these boys to have some sport talk about your Minnesota Vikings. Skol Vikes.
Well, the Minnesota Vikings, they are in the border battle. It's border battle once again. Week 2, though, which I think is odd. I mean, you don't get border battles. I mean, it gets happened last year as well, too, where it's a border battle against the Packers, and that's when they had their tie last year, too, which is really weird. So, could we see a tie again? I doubt it. Packers are favored by 3.5 points. They are at home. Vikings, I think, could be a pretty good team. I mean, if you're listening to our NFC North Roundtable a couple of weeks ago, we did talk about how good the Minnesota Vikings are going to be. I don't think they are going to win the division. I do think that they are going to be second. Green Bay is going to be third in the division, but that's just me, though. It'll be a good matchup. I think if Cook stays healthy, damn, he's going to run all over the Vikings or all over the Packers. I don't think that they are a good defensive team. Again, this is only week 2, so it's hard to really see what happens after week 1. But you can only guess. You can hopefully guess. You can assume, but sometimes when you assume, you make an ass of yourself. That's my old program director told me, and that's why, I suck at radio, and he's doing what else he's doing. But he's in 5 different fucking jobs. Anyways, he's always been fired from jobs. But that's a different story for a different day. But they're giving I'm looking on CBS Sports. They're giving the Packers one of the top 5 defenses so far this year. Offensively, the other way around. Again, this is week 2. This really doesn't, affect the stats and the rankings, especially rankings. I mean, it's hard to rank stuff after only having 1 week. I do think Chicago beat the shit out of the Packers. I mean, I think it was a lucky win, a fluke win. But I'm not worried about it. I think I did pick the Vikings to win this one. I think over and under is a 42, I believe, as of today. Vikings are Green Bay's favored by 3 points. I mean, that's standard. I mean, you always get 3 points when you're at home. So it could be a good matchup. I'm going to watch it. It's going to be at noon on Sunday, so we'll see what happens. I look at the defensive side for the Vikings. I think they're pretty stout all the way around. I think they're better than what some people might have thought, especially in the safeties and DB area. Xavier Rhodes, he's he is injury prone, it seems like. He's always hurt. When I was watching the Falcons game, I mean, they beat the shit out of the Falcons. I mean, it was a bloodbath. Just Matt Ryan didn't have it. Did not have what he was. And I almost started him. I switched him out with Tom Brady in my fantasy. I'm happy I did. Yeah, so I think the Vikings will win, not by much though, but I think the Vikings will win. Packers are probably going to lose, and you can see crybaby Aaron Rodgers. My line sucks. I want to get the coach fired. And Aaron Rodgers is not the same Aaron Rodgers like he used to be either. He's been he's injury prone. It's hurt. He's when he's rushed, he can't. I mean, he gets when he gets out of the pocket, he's dangerous when he's outside the pocket, but just not the same Aaron Rodgers from the past. He's like the Tin Man, Rickety Cricket out there. Just he has a brace on. He's just go after the knees, guys. Go after the knees, and he ain't going anywhere. That's just my take on that, though. I mean, I'm not biased or anything, but I just don't think that I'm too worried about the Vikings. Now, I didn't really listen to anybody else talk about Packers anyways, so I care about them anyways. Like I said, it's going to be a quick show, a little bit over almost an hour show, so we did stuff. Over 30 minutes. We had fun. I had fun. Hope you did too. Make sure to like us on Facebook. Go to North Star Sports Podcast. I'm in the process of developing another podcast, which is not about sports. It's just more about let's get drunk and let's have a good time. Kind of like the old days of Beer Belly Sports, but with really no sports, just more drinking and talking about topics. Really, anybody can join us. We'll do it here at my place. I haven't thought of a name yet, but we're working on it. I mean, I literally thought of this just today. So that's a work in progress. We're going to add another podcast soon to the Geffre production family tree of shows. Shit, I started all the way from 10 years ago with Dakota Sports FM in Sioux Falls, and eventually got my radio career going. Then I developed 3 other shows and a network, and just busy. So yeah, so we're looking to develop a new podcast. We'll let you know when that happens. It'll be a sister station, a sister show to this one. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. Well, again, I'm by myself. You can also find me on Twitter at He's Not That Good, which pretty much summarizes my relationship with women and my career. He's not the best. He's not the worst. He's just not that good. Basically how that is. All right, well, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks to the writers, producers, on-site engineer, otherwise known as me. We'll see you back next week, hopefully. In the words of Red Green, keep your stick on the ice. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
You like that? You like that? Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
I like this. This is fun.
This is fun. This was fun.
Good, wholesome fun.
What was that? It's called the medium sketch.
The medium sketch?
Yeah, it wasn't rare, and it certainly wasn't well done.